It's Week 9 of the National Football League, and we'll get a look here at Derrick Henry. He should be a busy man out of the backfield. It's the Ravens and the Broncos, and it comes your way next.
With Chesapeake Bay gleaming in the distance, we are inside M&T Bank Stadium near the Inner Harbor in Baltimore, Maryland. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you look at this Raven team as they get ready here. They come in playing pretty good football. Winners of 4 of their last 6 games.
And last week's win was indicative of how good this team can be. It was a complete performance.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Broncos, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
And I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well.
The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final 2 bring us as we're off in Week 9? And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. And now it looks like he's in some discomfort after being tackled at the end of that return. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. First carry now for Jaleel McLaughlin. And he'll get what he can up the middle, 3 yards. That'll bring up second down. Ball on the 30 now. Here's second down and 7. Off the play fake. Here's Wilson. He'll let this go deep for Sutton. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Pirine, draw play. Oh, good move. Able to pick up a healthy chunk of yards, 7-yard gain, but a tough 3rd and 9 upcoming. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. And that will be incomplete. Following the play here, now we've got an injury. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. 4th down, so they send out Trenton Gill. Deontay Hardy deep for Baltimore. And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. Taken from just outside the 30. Call it an even 40-yard punt, 7, though, on the return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And leading them out there, we get a look at their 6'3" quarterback.
This guy's leadership is so important to how this offense functions. He doesn't shrink from any moments on game day, and everything he does with confidence. He sets the example in practice, off the field, and is the guy leading everyone out for each possession.
And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. The numbers on the ground for Henry last week. 21 carries, 112 yards, and a touchdown.
And the way they ran the ball in last week's game has to be satisfying to their entire staff because they're seeing not just a back gain big yardage, but they're seeing an offensive line really in sync.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
A little antsy on the left side of the line.
Yeah, I think they got the guy in the end. I think they got the DN there on that one. And let's face it, he is so amped up, wanting to get a good get off on the snap, jump too quickly.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. And they'll send the slot in motion left. Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. A short throw caught by Andrews. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down. This defense for the Broncos, they were very strong last week in the win over Carolina.
Well, let's face it, when you hold someone to just 6 points in a game, the feeling that you have among your team is that you're not going to lose very many of those. That's the way to get it done.
Here's Johnson. From the gun, he'll throw. And he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. So he stopped for no gain. And it's 3rd and 4 now.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down.
They'll motion the tight end across the formation. Out of the gun now on 3rd down.
Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 29-yard line. The drive stays intact with a pickup of 13.
Well, on 3rd down, he wanted to go to one of his most dependable targets, and that's who he found, his tight end there, to pick up the first, Charles.
And you use the proper word there, dependable, and sometimes spectacular, because tight ends nowadays, they can do it all. But they're the guys you trust, especially across the middle of the field where there's traffic. He delivers, and they pick up nice yardage. We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Got his man complete over the middle. It's Flowers. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
It's 3rd and 7.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. A short throw caught by Andrews. And he will get him down a couple yards shy of the first down marker. A nice tackle coming up from his free safety spot. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And that'll bring up 4th down. They'll run for it with Henry. And he'll have the first down, getting this one to the 14-yard line. They're able to keep the drive alive, 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one.
So this drive going to continue following the conversion on 4th. Here's 1st and 10. Throw right side here, taken in by Bateman.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Ball at the 6 here as they work with a 2nd and 2.
At the 6-yard line.
How about this? They'll try the option. Left side. Able to fight. And he will force his way into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown.
His 2nd rushing touchdown of the year and 3rd overall. And the Ravens will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon.
An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23.
So now the 2nd drive offensively coming up for the Denver Broncos.
4-4 their record through 8 games on the season. Would you say that this team has overperformed, underperformed, or are they kind of right where you thought that they would be?
Do you mind if I say yes, yes, and yes? Because ultimately to me, 4-4 is about where they should be, because we've seen weeks where they've been really, really good. They've looked terrific. Other weeks where we've wondered just how good is this team. They want to be consistent in their play, not consistently inconsistent, which is what they've been thus far.
Man open, he's got it complete to Cortland Sutton. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 23 yards the pickup there.
But one of the ways the quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. Wilson.
And that went too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
He was looking for Josh Reynolds that time, but it's going to be 2nd down.
You look at this Baltimore defense.
And they've played well against the pass, currently ranked 7th in the NFL.
And I'm struggling a little bit trying to really categorize this crew. They're top 10 in the league against the pass, but the bottom half of the league in sacking the quarterback. That doesn't make sense. Imagine if this group ever put pressure on the QB, they'd easily move into the top 5.
Encroachment, defense.
And that'll be a free 5 yards for the offense.
Just like a tennis match, that's just an unforced error. Stay alert, don't jump early, and give them free yardage.
And the penalty, a big assist to this offense. Now it's 3rd and 3. To throw again is Wilson. And that is incomplete. Trenton Simpson there in coverage.
Textbook coverage right there. Played the ball, never lost sight of where it was headed, and stayed in perfect position to make a play on it. Able to keep the receiver and the quarterback in his sight lines.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And that ball's going to angle out at the 3-yard line. A beauty. The Ravens offense, led by their running back, headed out for the second possession. As we take a look at the league leaders in receiving touchdowns, he is right up there amongst the best in the NFL. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground. It's Derrick Henry. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. 2nd down and a yard. Again, it's Henry. And he'll get it up here this time to the 21. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
That's some good hard running there as he'll push his way forward for about 5. 2nd and 5. Off the option, here's Henry. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line.
Offside, defense.
And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. They set up the screen for Henry. And he goes out right around the 39. That one, a 1st down pickup of 8. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on 1st quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
In motion, Aguilar. Back to the ground now. It's Henry. Stopped up shy of the 45 despite some pretty powerful running. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Now Johnson. Off play action. They'll roll him out right. And they're able to stop him short. On 3rd and 6, they'll only pick up 4.
That looked great when he first took off because, in my mind, there was room to run, and he had the marker in his sight. But I certainly didn't expect him to close so quickly, and neither did he. They got to him just in time, and now that forced him to make a decision with this 4th down call.
4th down, and out comes Jordan Stout here to punt. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And they are right at the 500 mark on the year and got there with a victory a week ago.
And I think right now I put myself in the shoes of the head coach and say, all right, time to reset a little bit. And I don't give my team a win one for the Gipper speech, I do say, look, we haven't played our best football yet, but we are at 500, and we're still in it. Let's try and string a few of these victories together, and we're capable of doing so.
Umpire threw the flag, usually always indicates holding, and that's what we've got.
And you know, depending on their positioning, where you are on the field, the umpires get different responsibilities, but always making sure no one's holding.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long. They'll run again with Pirine. And he'll only get this to the 14 as he'll come up well short of the first down. A pretty good effort there, 9 yards, but not enough. We'll likely see the punt team now on 4th down.
But once again, a good example of situational football. That was 3rd and very long, so you know they were guarding against the pass. And when they decided to run the ball, that was okay. Whatever yardage they picked up, as long as they didn't get to the first down marker, the defense was willing to concede, and they stopped them well short of a first down.
And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. Here's Hardy set to return. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And the Ravens set up well to begin their drive as it'll begin in enemy territory already. And Baltimore's offense set for this next possession. Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming. And he's going to be stopped at about the 37. 51 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. 2nd down, they go again with Henry. And he won't get much. Maybe a couple. Down inside the 35 to the 34. Well, now after all of this, hang on here because he appears to be shaken up. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. And he is going to lose yardage here. That'll back him up 2 yards and also bring up 4th.
A loss of 2 yards. It's 4th down.
Here we go with Hill. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Baltimore. It's the Ravens in possession. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. As they've got it as we resume action. And a 5-yard gain as he's down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
Consecutive positive runs for him on the last 2 snaps. He certainly appears to be trying to put the offense on his back and just move them down the field when his number is called. The way he's running it, I'd keep going back to him.
And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4.
It's now 3rd and 4.
Back to throw. Johnson. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. Tucker's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So that one on target, and it adds to this first half lead.
And maybe we're too early to worry too much about 1-score lead, 2-score lead, etc. But this is where you kind of start banking those points that come in helpful later on.
The lane opens here. He's past the 30. And he's able to get this all the way to the 40 before going out of bounds. Denver's offense now set to go. Nothing for him yet from an offensive standpoint, down 10-zip as they come up 1st and 10. It's Pirine to begin the drive. Busts through the tackle. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down. They'll try the right side with Pirine. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
Holding offense.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Again, here's Pirine. And across midfield he goes into Raven territory. 8 yards here, so that gets him back within striking distance. And now it's 3rd down. Now Wilson. He's got his target. That's complete. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Tim Patrick, his first touchdown on the year. And the Broncos have cut it back within a score. And there they got him the ball. Just get it to him, let him do the rest.
You know, he probably said that to his quarterback as he broke the huddle. I like the play call. Just get it to me. I'll take care of the rest of it.
Helping out his rack, right? RAC?
Run after catch, and he loves that, and he's going to carry that in at contract time.
Lutz good on the extra point, and that'll cut it to 3 at 10-7. 5 plays there on that drive, and it ends with a Denver touchdown. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. And we spotlight Derrick Henry now. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. And this one nearly picked off. Well, kind of surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but get away it does, and it's 2nd down. Able to avoid him at the 40. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a pickup of 11 at a Baltimore 1st down.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. That's to the right sideline, and it falls incomplete.
And that's the knowledge you gain from being in this league for a long time. He's learned the hard way when to give up and fight another down. And that's a smart move to throw it away.
Off the play fake. Johnson looking for Bateman. He's got him complete. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. The Ravens on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. In motion, Aguilar. Looking to throw. Johnson. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down.
Well, they came up with points in their first 2 possessions, but it looks like they'll come up empty here on their 3rd drive. The defense finally starting to get locked into them a little bit. Might have to go a little bit deeper into their playbook on their next possession.
Not too shabby here. This will skip out of bounds at about the 12-yard line. The Broncos and Cortland Sutton heading back out there. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? 2nd quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us, but sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game.
Holding offense.
All right, so they got that one, Charles, against the center.
And let's remember how difficult it is for the center, because remember, he's got to snap the ball to put the play in motion, and sometimes you got that big guy on your nose. You got sometimes where he's coming at you at an angle. It's a difficult job for him to snap the ball and then execute his block.
Brings up second down.
Here's Wilson. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
I think most quarterbacks would love to have the goal line actually extend up into the air and turn into a wall, that they can put their back against it and know exactly where they are on the field so they don't end up in the end zone. Didn't do it on that play, but perilously close to the goal line.
On the return, Hardy. And just a net of 31 here, 40-yard punt, 9 on the return. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. They'll go with Hill here on 1st down. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
That's complete to his receiver, Bateman. So give him 2 yards there on the completion, and that brings up 3rd and a full 10 yards. Now, right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the 1st down and move the chains. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Ravens 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That was a fun one to watch right there. A nice in-breaking route and plenty of room in the middle of the field. And he was able to get behind the linebackers and grab the completion for a really good pickup.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. And he's going to go down. Back at the 27-yard line, he's sacked. Baron Browning from his outside linebacker spot gets him down there for a loss of 4. 2nd and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. In motion, Aguilar. 2nd and 14. Completes it to Aguilar. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it brings up 3rd and 5 now. They'll bring one of the tight ends in motion left. Johnson now from the gun on 3rd down. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 5 yards that time out of the scramble. But now they're looking at a 4th down situation.
And, partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's 3rd down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the 1st down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
They'll run for it with Hill. And this will depend on the mark. I'm not sure he pushed the line forward. And indeed, he did not. They stop him. John Harbaugh not afraid to go for it this time. Doesn't work out. And the Broncos will take over on downs. So they'd converted their first 2 4th down attempts. Not there. Now they're 2 for 3.
You think maybe the offense coordinator expended a little capital on that one? You know, when you're 2 for 2, you can lobby for that 3rd one, right? Didn't get it there. Maybe now the head coach might not be so eager to go for it as we go forward.
The drive starts with a handoff to Pirine, and they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Takes this one up past the 20 after he's able to make a man miss. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. They'll come to the line needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Trying for it with Pirine. He's going to be a yard short. Needed 2, but only got 1. 4th down. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
And here's Trenton Gill on to punt. Able to slither by. It's a 40-yard punt, 4 yards on the return, and they will take over 1st and 10. Derrick Henry trots back out there and gets ready to go. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the 2nd quarter.
And he doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back, and that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend. That's a good acceleration there as he's across midfield to the 48-yard line. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a 1st down. 2 minutes remaining in the first half, 10-7 our score. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. In motion is Hardy. 2nd and 1. And his throw here is going to be incomplete. This is 3rd and 1. Very likely 4-down territory, even if they don't get it, though. Back to throw. Johnson. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. It's a loss of 10 on the sack, and it leads to 4th.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
Out now is the punter, Jordan Stout. And he'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. So the Broncos coming out now. And you figure, Charles, they have enough time here in the first half, more than a minute, to put a drive together, at least get them in position to try a field goal.
Yeah, they've got all 3 timeouts at their disposal, so I'm actually thinking bigger. With those 3 timeouts, that amount of time on the clock, I'm thinking about trying to get a touchdown and settle for a field goal.
Now it's Wilson. He'll find Sutton on the right side, complete. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Throwing is Wilson. That is caught. He's got the first down and more. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. And his throw here is incomplete. Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. It actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over. Then they get a chance to continue their drive.
And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 24-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. Here's Wilson to throw. And that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock. Here's 2nd and 10. Throwing again here, Wilson. And Sutton hauls it in over the middle. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. Here's Wilson. And he wisely will throw that one away.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this defense because their coverage has been playing at a shutdown level so far. Even backed up late, they're forcing incompletions and fighting to keep them out of the end zone as the first half winds down.
So they're able to make things level just before half and also leave very, very little time on the clock.
And I love the way that you phrased that. Brought a little soccer into it, and that's really apropos considering they just kicked a field goal to tie things up.
And not willing to risk a return. This ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. 1 second, all that remains. And that is incomplete. So thanks to the late field goal, we are all tied up heading to intermission as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you two in a bit. For now, plenty of early game action around the NFL to get you caught up on, so let's get to it. We'll start up at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. And as you see, they were winners back on Thursday night. Aaron Rodgers, strong in the victory as it pushes his guys back above the 500 mark on the year. From there, we're off to check out another game. And they were losers in that ball game as they fall to the visiting Washington Commanders. Jamison Crowder, over 100 yards receiving and a touchdown catch as well. Lastly, let's get up to Buffalo to check on the Bills. And they were winners in that one over the visiting Miami Dolphins. Josh Allen, strong in the win as his guys start the second half with a victory that moves them to 6-3 on the year. We thought this one would be a close battle coming in, and we have not been disappointed. They're all even to this point. This has the feeling of a game that could go right down to the wire. One mistake or one big play could turn out to be the difference.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. The Raven offense set to start this third quarter. It's a tie football game here. What do you think, Charles, the message was at halftime?
Well, I think that they probably just looked at things and said, we're fortunate that this is a tie game. No need to panic. No need to change a whole lot. We didn't play anything close to our best in the first half, so we don't have to go out and win one for the Gipper. Let's just go out and play our best football and win one for us.
2nd and 10.
Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 27-yard line.
Looking to throw. Johnson. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
But based on the play we just saw there, he might not be the guy you want to challenge in coverage on these all-important snaps. He certainly looks dialed in right now.
Back to throw. Johnson. They set up the screen to Hill. And a good job on the tackle there as they get him down shy of the first on the 35-yard stripe. The screen does get him 9, but it also brings up a 4th down. The Ravens send their punter out now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. This is taken at the 23. Call that a 41-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. The visitors' offense and their wideout getting set to go once more. The Broncos onto the field ready to start their next drive. Now this game, it has obviously been all about the defense on both sides of the football. Which offense is going to break through here? We'll see if they can do it on this drive. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. And with a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep. Try and throw some air under it and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they were unsuccessful.
And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the 1st down. On third down, it's Pirine. Yeah, this is not going to be enough. Was in search of 2 yards and only got halfway there.
I know they want to go for it here, and I know that their fans want them to go for it, but listen, I'm going to play head coach right here and look at the facts. Tie game, plus, even if you get the first, you still got a half a field to go. I'll go ahead and punt the football myself.
The Broncos send out their punter now, as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. A 40-yard punt, 5 yards on the return, and the Ravens, they'll take over. Baltimore about ready to go on offense. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag, punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. So a 5-yard run the other way in the wrong direction, and that leads us to 2nd and 15. Operating from the gun, Johnson. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle third. He couldn't catch it. Now 3rd down. A tall task ahead of him here, needing a full 15 yards to move the chains. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Good work there to force the incompletion and 4th down. Normally, it'd be a quick change for the punt return unit, but this offense has converted twice on 4th down so far, so you may want to double-check things there and make sure they're actually going to kick the football.
We'll call that a 49-yard punt with a return of just 2. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Broncos offense and their running back getting ready to go back to work. And he's had his fair share of troubles in this one, unfortunately. This defensive front has wreaked havoc throughout the contest, and he hasn't been able to create enough space to make something positive happen to this point. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on 2nd down.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Odafe Owe able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Well, many times when you talk about mobile quarterbacks, you get the sense that they feel like they can get out of any bad situation. They keep moving around and trying to emulate guys like the Scrambler or the Dodger. Instead, they keep losing yardage and digging themselves a hole that they can't get out of.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wilson. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. That's pulled in at the 32. Oh, a nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle it.
A 46-yard boot, but just 36 following a pretty decent return of 10 yards. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak.
And have hit it hard, haven't we? Because the defenses right now, they seem to be a step ahead, don't they? Beating them to the point of attack, beating them to the punch. These offensive guys, they're tinkering like crazy. What's it going to take to get back on track?
Yeah, both sides searching for adjustments. In motion, Aguilar. Johnson off the play fake. and it's incomplete.
Really nice play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball, but for the guys on the offensive line, they're doing a nice job of trying to protect their passer. But when a guy hops in the air and goes airborne to try and knock one away, it's difficult because you can't reach out and grab him. That'll be a holding penalty. So all you're trying to do is make some type of a play on him, make some type of contact to try and get his arms out of the sky.
Just a gain of a couple there, and that's going to make it 4th down. The Ravens send their punter out now as he'll come on to kick this one away. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And this punt will go out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25, and it will. Right at the 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. And Denver getting set to take the field. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively. Just not able to get anything going, so what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and now 2 yards to go on 3rd down. They'll try and pick it up by running the option to the right. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. And that one will go for 13 yards on the keeper and a 1st down.
Well, I tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react, even as quarterbacks carry the ball more and more in today's NFL. They're still a little bit in disbelief and realize, oh my goodness, he's running.
Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And some space here. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line. A little careless with the football, and he also had a fumble loss last week, didn't he?
He certainly did, and when I'm watching him play, the one thing that comes to mind is always remember, traffic, turbulence, people around you. 2 hands. Get 2 hands on the ball. Grip it tight. I know it looks cool to have it in one hand, but put it away, tuck it away, because you've got to take care of the ball.
And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
A good position to be in here, 2nd and inches.
Now flags come in. I think one of the Ravens got going a little early. They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches.
In motion is Hardy.
Looking to throw. Johnson.
Able to locate Andrews here on the out route.
And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Mark Andrews, his 3rd touchdown now on the year.
And the Ravens take the forced fumble and convert it into 6 points.
For good reason, quarterbacks want to get the ball to the perimeter to their wide receivers for big plays. But in this situation, it felt like, based on coverage, he knew that he wanted his tight end to have the football, and for good reason.
Tucker now to add the point after. He's got it as they go up by a total of 17-10. Well, that drive started with not a whole lot of real estate in front of them. In plus territory, excellent field position. 2 plays later, pay dirt. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Denver's offense ready to go again. And they have had problems getting the running game in gear as we look through some of their attempts from earlier. They have just not been able to match the physicality that this defense has shown, and their lack of success on the ground is a direct reflection of that. The Broncos onto the field ready to start their next drive. Last time out, they had the fumble. That led to the touchdown. Not a great look on either side of the ball as the defense gave up the points too, Charles. But they've got to take care of the football and do better here on this possession.
It's certainly been a tough stretch, partner, for both of those units, and they kind of put their defensive mates in a really tough spot there by dropping the ball on the ground. But an easy way to make it up to them, get out there now and get some points on this drive.
They're throwing left sideline there, but it's incomplete.
So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
It'll be a loss of 2 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
They threw the screen to the perimeter, but to no benefit at all. Tackle behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of yardage.
The Broncos send out their punter now as he's on to kick it away. Here's Hardy set to return. 42-yard punt, 6 on the return. So here are the Ravens to take over on offense. They played the Browns last week, got the victory in that game, and so far so good as they've got the lead here. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. And right side, they're going to go option here. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Back to throw. Johnson. It's caught by Aguilar. And he'll be stopped at the 35, but not before he picks up 7 yards.
When you call a wide receiver screen, no matter how many blockers you get in front of the guy that catches the ball, there's still an aspect of the guy catching it, turning into a runner, breaking tackles and creating his own yardage, and he just did on that play.
So 5 yards here, 5 on the play, and 3rd and 8 now. Looking to throw. Johnson being chased out left. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, 1st down.
Remember, Brandon, he ran for a touchdown earlier, so his decision to go ahead and tuck it and go again turned out to be a wise one.
And the decision is what is important here. He has made some good decisions on when to tuck it and go. And holding it may be the wrong decision as he stopped in the backfield. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down. So their task a little bit more difficult now. 2nd and 13 that they're walking up on. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
A bit of a jump there, CD. He breaks the line, and that'll be 5 yards.
And you've got to stay more disciplined than that, Brandon. That's just a free gift to the offense.
So the penalty erases their earlier loss. Now it's 2nd and 8. Back to throw. Johnson. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Nothing open downfield, and he had to get that one out in a hurry because he just knew he was about to take a big shot. Probably couldn't get his legs into the throw. Became an all-arm throw trying to check it down to his running back. Incomplete.
Here's Johnson from the gun on 3rd down.
A short one there, caught by Likely.
And he'll get this to the 40, but that's still going to be a few yards short of the 1st down. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it'll be 4th down. They run. It's Hill. And he will have a 1st down as they get him to the ground at the 37. They only got a couple, but a couple's all that they needed as they convert on 4th. They'll look to throw now on 1st down.
A short throw caught by Andrews. And he'll work free from one tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down. 2nd and 7, operating from the 34.
At the 34-yard line.
Hill going to try the right side. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10.
65 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive. because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. First down, and it's Hill again. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Baltimore. It's the Ravens in control of the football. They've also got the lead as we get set for the fourth. A toss wide side to Hill. Oh, no, he lost the football. It's picked up by the Broncos. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, partner, here's where team football gets tested a little bit, because I know the defensive guys were over there chilling on the sidelines, and all of a sudden, they heard the sudden change call because that fumble puts them right back on the field, and they've got to go out and finish the game now themselves.
Absolutely. Nursing that slim lead here in the fourth, a costly turnover. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here.
And at this stage, in the fourth, they need to work this into the end zone. A field goal doesn't do much. We'll see if they can cash in following the fumble recovery. And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble.
Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
Defense.
So they jumped on the left side of that line.
And you know, when you're at the end spot, you are like in the starting blocks, waiting for the pistol to fire and go, and he jumped a little bit too early.
And the penalty makes this a much more manageable third down, 3rd and 2. From the gun, a run for Hill. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there.
Now a pause, and there's an injured Raven in need of some assistance. The medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break.
So here comes Justin Tucker in a big spot. This to make it a 2-score game. Tucker's kick is good, and they double him up here. That makes our score 20-10.
So that's, CD, an important one here in the fourth quarter.
And that importance cannot be overstated. All eyes on both sidelines were staring that one down all the way. The significance is that they made it a 2-score game. Still lots of time left to go, but likely that was their goal at the start of the drive. Get 3 points, make it a 2-score game, and they were able to get it done.
And the football going back over to the Denver Broncos. And the complexion of this one has changed a fair amount. That last field goal made it a 2-score game, so they need to get points out of this drive relatively quickly.
They start on the ground with Pirine. And a 6-yard gain gets them right around the 43.
Well, I think after that run, the defense is getting back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them, and do I have enough confidence to make a play?
And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50.
Wilson smart to take off and run with it as he's able to pick up the first.
And movement by one of the Broncos up front, and in comes the flag. A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15.
In motion goes Patrick. He'll get it here on the jet sweep. Oh, and this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away.
It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. From the shotgun, Wilson.
And that's going to be caught by Sutton. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. 36 yards on the play.
And here's a spot where this offense says, we got to start making something happen. We're down 2 scores. It's the 4th quarter. We've got to start moving with some urgency. And here's a big play that gives them a ray of hope that they can get back in this one.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Hand off here for Pirine. And he's only going to get a yard from the 20 to the 19. Second and 9. From the gun, it's Wilson. The throw here right sideline falls incomplete.
I like his awareness in the pocket there. Nowhere to go with the football. So instead of forcing it to the sideline, he's just going to put this one into the harbor and live to fight another down without getting wet.
Here's a fake on the jet sweep, and instead a give up the middle. And they'll hustle up to stop him well shy of the first, right around the 15. It'll be a gain of 4, but it won't be enough. It leaves him with a 4th down now. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. From the left hash, just a 32-yard attempt. The kick by Lutz is good. And that will tighten this one up a bit. Now a 1-score game at 20-13. All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
There's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They've got to get at the least a 3-and-out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway.
And he takes this near the 25, just a little pass there, call it the 26. The Ravens offense and their running back getting set for this next possession. And he has put in a full game's work and then some. Just an incredible performance on the ground to this point in the 4th quarter. And right side, they're going to go option here. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Beating him there with his legs. 21 yards, 1st down.
1st and 10 at the 47-yard line.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Hill. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Now a pause, and there's an injured Raven in need of some assistance. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Operating from the gun, Johnson. A short throw caught by Andrews. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. In motion, Aguilar. They'll try and pick it up with Mitchell. And he'll go out of bounds right around the 40. At 5 yards on the play there, as the drive will continue.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there, and on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing, in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously, but at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. An option give now to Mitchell. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1. How about this? They'll try the option. Left side. Yeah, boy, from up here, I don't think Johnson got there. No, he did not. They end up getting stuffed twice after that 9-yard gain back on 1st down. Boy, the pursuit there, terrific from the linebacking core.
Oh, it certainly was, because so many times on an option play, you'll see a linebacker make a beeline for the quarterback and then zip, one cut, and he's grasping at air. But this time, he locked in on him the whole way, took an excellent angle, and his grasp came up with the quarterback.
He needed a couple, but he didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. And the Broncos will take over on downs. So that's a decision that could loom pretty large here. They go for it on 4th down, but come up empty.
But I actually like the call, and the reason? It shows me a head coach has faith in his team overall. First, on the offensive side, thinking they can pick it up, but also knowing that he has faith in his defense that if they don't, they'll go out there and stop them. I like the confidence he showed.
They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
It's a gain of 9. Brings up 2nd and a yard at the 43-yard line.
Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down.
On the handoff, McLaughlin.
And he's got the 1st down as he's up to the 45-yard line.
There are a lot of different formulas to winning football, but one constant over the years, winning on 3rd down. That pickup there was big because they had struggled throughout this one.
Wilson. Setting up the screen to Pirine. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down. They'll run again with Pirine. And he'll power his way forward for about 4 yards there on the 1st down carry.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield.
Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down.
Trenton Simpson
Able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback has not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. Now Wilson.
pass taken in by Pirine.
And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. They'll wind up losing 3 here on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down. The Broncos send out their punter now as he's on here to punt it away. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. Right now clinging to a 1-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs. And the goal, end the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
It's a pretty strong running there as he'll take this across the 50 and down to the 44.
That one good for 13 and a Raven first down. Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
A penalty accepted, and they move the ball forward.
Still first down.
Now a chance to make that encroachment penalty really hurt. 1st and 5. Off play action. Johnson. To the right side, it's caught by Mitchell. And he's going to be out of bounds down around the 35-yard line.
Now a pause, and there's an injured Raven in need of some assistance. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. Up the middle, here's Mitchell.
I like that run right there, partner. Not the flashiest run, not the one that's going to break for big yardage, but he understands the situation, and taking care of the football, paramount, and he got it done.
Nursing that slim lead, you're exactly right. Hold on to that ball. Now, this is a big third down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here.
They'll run again.
And he is going to lose yardage here. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. And here's a big one now. Try to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down.
They'll try and run the option.
And nowhere to go. He's going to be stopped behind the line. The Ravens go for it, but come up empty. And the Broncos will take over on downs. Here's Wilson.
And oh, that one nearly intercepted. That would have sealed it. Instead, it'll be 2nd down.
Now Wilson.
A throw left sideline falls incomplete.
So back-to-back incompletions, now 3rd and 10. And first things first, before you think about marching the ball down the field, you got to move the chains.
You're exactly right. Got to get back into focus here. Get the first down. That's what's vital to them.
And he can only get this to the 42-yard line, and that is not near enough.
Well, the defense circling now, 4th down and 7.
Over the middle, complete. It's Reynolds. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You still have to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
Wilson to throw.
He'll find its tight end. It's Adam Troutman.
And he's got this down a yard or two shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds.
It didn't check off every box, but the most important one. Got the clock stopped, getting out of bounds. They may be a little short of the first down, but I thought that was the key.
Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle third. He couldn't catch it. Now 3rd down. Throwing now is Wilson. And now another one thrown incomplete.
With that incompletion, reality is staring them right in the face. This entire game is down to the next snap.
They'll try and run for it. And try to push his way forward, but I think he's going to be short, and he is short. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Ravens are going to get the football back. The Ravens taking a knee with victory seemingly in hand here. Now the Broncos will use their 3rd and final timeout as it comes with exactly a minute to go in the football game. And they will take a knee here. Down to a knee one more time, and that should just about do it.
Listen, anytime you take a knee to end a game, that means you've won it. So it doesn't matter whether it's home or on the road, but there's something a little extra special about doing it in front of your home crowd, isn't there?
And the home crowd applauding. They're happy with what they've seen. Chalk this one up in the left-hand column for a win.
Yeah, that's right. Head to the locker room, throw the wristbands in the crowd for the kids, your gloves, your towels. Get to share it with the home team.
And a fun, close ball game comes to an end. On that last play, Charles, they were on the wrong side of midfield. They needed something near a miracle, and they couldn't get it done.
Yeah, the effort, that was good. Very good, in fact. They were just a little too far out to get a decent look at the end zone for that last opportunity. Couldn't get it done, but a nice game overall.
So for the Ravens, the win will move them to 7-2 now on the year. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for Denver, they are barely afloat as they fall to 4-5. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to KC to take on the Chiefs. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.